Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Seminole Lanes in Seminole, Florida. Our continuing coverage of the 2017 PWBA St. Petersburg Open. Live Bowl TV on Extra Frame. Emil Williams Jr. here with you. Match play is underway. The top 12 players have been determined. They have advanced. And now our group match play portion of the event kicks off. Featured match number 1 in game 1. Erin McCarthy taking on Katie Sutphin. And McCarthy wraps a 10-pin there. Erin shot to this point, the first and only 300 game in game 5 of this morning's Cashers round. That same game, Camilla Dahmers had the front 11. She shot 296, left the big 4 on the fill. Other match features Josie Ernest Barnes taking on Giselle Poss. Player coach matchup. Poss, a former All-American at Vanderbilt, recently graduated. Of course, Josie, an assistant coach at Vanderbilt. First match play appearance, the young career of Giselle Poss, a tour rookie this season. First match play appearance of the year for Katie Sutphin as well, although not a rookie. Bowled well last week. Cashed and now into match play. And a 9-pin. Sure to check your scores, pwba.com/live. Drop a comment on the Live Now post on PWBA Facebook page if you haven't done so already. Cashers round. Shannon O'Keefe, your overall leader. She leads Group A and right now would be the top overall seed for television. Cio Restrepo is in second. She leads Group B at plus 504. Again, O'Keefe at plus 617. Some of the high scores have thought that that would make match play that much more interesting. We could see the 270 to 260 games, the 270 to 270 games, the potentially even the 280 to the 290 type games. And matches, of course, bonus pins on the line for each win. 30 bonus pins. 15 pins for a tie. 0 pins for a loss. Josie Barnes, who was the number? She was the Cashers round number. Qualified 32nd at plus 89. Got to 8th place overall after going plus 275 during the Cashers round this morning. 1475 is the high block, I believe, of the event. 205, 232, 258, 265, 238, and 277 to ensure a spot in the top 12. Great bowling from Josie this morning. Now trying to keep it going. Lost in the group stepladder final. In the group stepladder semi, technically, last week in Orlando. Now trying to give herself another opportunity to make her first TV show of the season. Of course, Josie won her first title last year in Rochester, which is next week's stop. So after the front three from Sutphin, a 9-pin, 10 pins, McCarthy went 10-pin in the fourth after the front three. Now on a double, looking for 3 in a row here. 7th frame shot. And she wraps a 10. That will keep Katie Sutphin in the match here. Again, 30 bonus spins on the line. We know what bonus spins can do, how they can help, and certainly hinder. You win matches, it's fantastic. If you don't, you have to hope you have a big enough lead and to keep things together. Stay atop the leaderboard. Game 1 matches, Shannon O'Keefe and Stephanie Johnson in Group A. Danielle McEwen and Diana Zavyalova in Group A. Shot there from Sutphin in frame 7. This is a Group B match. 4 and 6 essentially overall, but really your 2-3 matchup in Group B at the moment. Barnes and Pass, also Group B. Camilla Dahmers is taking on Liz Johnson in Group A. And Rocio Restrepo, the leader in Group B, taking on Clara Guerrero, matchup of Team Colombia teammates. Big double for Sutphin. And this is just the type of match that we could see throughout match play. Could be looking at a 258 to 257 potentially here. Giselle Poss with 4 in a row. And McCarthy able to kick the 10 out. Let's get a look at Giselle Poss's game. The young right-hander. All-American at Vanderbilt. Looking for 5 in a row. And get some late love on the 7. Nicely done, McCarthy. So Aaron McCarthy cannot be shut out here this match. Sutphin will have the opportunity to put all of the pressure on McCarthy here, potentially at the very least double to win a match. And a 10-pin for Sutphin. Let's head over to Josie Ernest Barnes, or Josie Barnes. It's going to read, if you look at the standings, Ernest Barnes. Also says that on her Champions banner. She wanted to make sure the fans, the immediate change, realized it was still her. And she gets the love on the 10 as well. A good match there. All right, Sutphin makes the spare, so her max score now down to 236. she were to strike out here, as we watch Poss. Giselle now with 6 in a row. Back over to Sutphin. If she strikes out, Erin McCarthy could go 9 spare 9. Get the win, and now a big 4 from Sutphin. And Erin McCarthy is in the driver's seat. .254 max score for Poss. .236 the max for
Let your friends know that you rock with the MyJam app. MyJam lets you share your requests with friends on social media, letting them know what you're playing while you're out.
Poss's strike there, wrap that match up. Some very good fans in attendance here. Giselle Poss, well, not messing around. We're talking about seeing some new faces potentially as we go through the season. We've seen a couple. Juliana Franco, for example, making 2 shows. Team Malaysia, though not new, CT Rahman did make her first 2 TV shows this season. Of course, winning 1. We see a young Giselle Poss make some noise. Splitting the 8-9 there is McCarthy. Oh, nicely done. She'll grab a piece of equipment to check things out. Sutphin finishes with 210. Giselle Poss, 254 to start match play. Poss in 10th, and will quickly move up the leaderboard. But she is in Group B. Could she nail down Rocio Restrepo? We run her down there in the standings. A long way to go, but she's off to a good start. Could Josie do it as well? Group B will be interesting. 258 to 210. The official final score. McCarthy defeats Sutphin. Now Josie Barnes to finish it out here. Second shot, 10th frame. Pretty good match there. 254 to 236. There'll be a few games like that, I think, in the loss column for a few players. We'll have some matches like that. You can check the match play schedule also on pwba.com/live. Coming up next on 35 and 36, we'll have Giselle Poss and Rocio Restrepo. So this will be a good matchup here. Poss with some confidence, with a lot of it actually, and then off to a good start with 254, add 30 bonus. And the Group B leader, Rocio Restrepo. 39 and 40, we will have Katie Sutphin taking on Clara Guerrero. Shannon O'Keefe and Stephanie Johnson complete. Can't see the scores from here. Zavyalova shoots 205. Danielle McEwen can strike out and beat Zavyalova by 1 pin. Well, let's take a look at this match. It's in view. McEwen 10th frame. And a pocket 7-10. So she will fall to Zavyalova here. And that was a game 1 match. Just in case some cool things happen on this spare attempt. All right, 205 to 183. We're all done with game 1 across the, oh no. Looks like Restrepo is finishing up. Restrepo and Guerrero. But both players will be making their way to their respective featured pairs. That is the delay. All right, so while we're at it, let's give a whirl to the Yellow Book of Faces. And checking in as of yet. Hope everyone is doing well as we await the start of game number 2. Katie Sutphin standing near the couches. Left leg tall, right leg nestled ever so gently on the seat, focused at the pins. I'm sure, no doubt, getting herself prepare for battle. Folks, don't forget, Tuesday, Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open will air Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Another opportunity for history to be made. 4 finalists include Ejane Sin of Malaysia, Shaina Saraus from Aruba, amateur and non-member, Liz Johnson, 2-time and reigning back-to-back player of the year, and Kelly Kulick. So again, catch that at 8 p.m. Tuesday, CBS Sports Network. Well, while we wait, Stephanie Johnson, or excuse me, Liz Johnson and Shannon O'Keefe have started. You see Camilla Dahmers taking on Danielle McEwen. Oh, through the face there. And that's it's a 5 split. Looks like the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Liz Johnson. All right, and here is Giselle Poss. It's a pretty good start. Sutphin starts with a 10 pin. Four pin to start things for Restrepo. So game 2 officially underway across the board. Big spare. Restrepo won the first title of the season. The Cubica AMF PWBA Sonoma County Open. It's a very non-Rocio type shot there. Rarely do you really see her hand over rotate a little bit. All right, good spare for Rowe. So now on to Giselle Poss. I believe Giselle was in Guatemala as well with Team Puerto Rico, the Central American Games qualifier. Nice opening double so far. Very cool, relaxed, very calm, collected. young lady who, at a very early age, understood that she had some talent and some ability. Able to hone those. Parents are here. Great coaching prior to Vanderbilt. Did not like it, but she's got a 3 in a row. And she'll take it. All right, let's see if our scores are all in now. Forget, of course, if we haven't mentioned it so far in this round, but the lane condition, of course, 40 feet, 28.117 milliliters, but it's the graph that really will tell the story. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. That's also located at pwba.com/live. This is not, however, a fresh pattern. This match play portion is on the burn, fresh this morning on the Cashers round. And after one game of match play, Shannon O'Keefe still leads Group A at plus 680. It's going to take a lot for anyone to catch her at this point. Diana Zavyalova is second at plus 412. Danielle McEwen is third at plus 384. Liz Johnson is fourth at plus 377. Camilla Dahmers is in fifth at plus 346. Stephanie Johnson is sixth at plus 67. Or excuse me. Camilla Dahmers is 31 pins back. Stephanie Johnson is 67 pins back of fourth place, which will get you a spot in the group stepladder final. McEwen is plus 384, Johnson plus 377, Dahmers plus 346, Johnson plus 310. That's Group A. And Group B, Aaron McCarthy, now the leader at plus 476. The 258 win. Giselle Poss into second in Group B after her 254 win. McCarthy plus 476, Poss plus 418, Restrepo well, if I'm reading this correctly, and if it's not a typo, Rocio shot 108. You don't see that every day. Another 4-pin on the right lane for Restrepo. Quick look over to Katie Sutphin and Clara Guerrero. Katie coming off a game 1 loss to Erin McCarthy. She is fifth, currently 20 pins out of a group stepladder final spot. Strepo third, Barnes is fourth. Got plus 400. Sutphin plus 380. Guerrero plus 370 and sixth. Much better shot. And still leaves a 4-pin, this time on the opposite lane. Guerrero with the 10-pin. She's gone 9-spare double, 9-spare strike. Now a 10-pin to deal with. 1 open for Sutphin. Game 2 of 6. Really game 2 of 5. Game 6 is a position round game. And with that said, we'd like to welcome in a special guest into the booth here at the St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open. Say hello to Brittany Himmelreich.
Hello, Emil. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
You had a pretty good weekend. Obviously, you'd like to be bowling still, of course.
Yes, I would like to be bowling, but I did have a very good week. Really wasn't my A game per se, but I felt really comfortable this weekend.
I tell you couldn't tell if that was the case with some of the shots you were throwing. So
Well,
that's
thank you.
pretty impressive. I'll get your thoughts on the pattern with your success level, and of course with it not being your A game. Did you look at the graph at all, like when it was released during practice, and what were your first thoughts when you saw it?
I glanced at it quickly. I could see there wasn't, like last week, there was a lot of oil down lane. It seems like there was a little less this week, but again, this week there was also just forward oil. There was no reverse.
Big spare made from Rocio Restrepo. That is what the applause. So he made the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10.
Yes.
Restrepo. Just one double here. We'll take you back there momentarily after we see Katie Sutphin's shot. A shot there from Sutphin, who has also bowled well this weekend. Would like to continue that pace here. So back over to Restrepo. Her ball is doing a lot of that this game. Unsure of what took place in game number 1. But I need to confirm whether or not her score is a typo. I don't think it is, but she shot 108, which is very un-Rocio-like.
I did glance down there. I saw a lot of red circles, which usually doesn't mean very good, but she's Rocio. She can bounce back.
She'll take care of the 3-6-10, joined by Brittany Himmelreich. Britt, now tell the fans, of course, for those who may not know you that well yet, but where are you from and kind of how you got your start in the sport?
I am from Cressona, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half northwest of Philadelphia. I got my start in my grandparents' bowling center. They
About
owned
that.
one, so that's always a plus. So from about 2 up, my second home was a bowling center. Used to bowl a lot of games.
Do they still own the
They do
bowling
not.
center?
They do not. But I do know the family that now owns the bowling center there. They're pretty awesome.
Is that your home center?
It is
Still?
not,
Okay.
unfortunately, because I moved away and I have a center closer to me where I am at now. But I still bowl there occasionally.
Well, good. Good to see you still support, and I'm sure lots of memories. Obviously.
Very, very many memories. I'd like to point out Giselle just missed that 2-8. 2-8s are such a tricky spare on every pattern that they've put out this year. It's almost like a trick shot, it seems like.
It's you should get bonus pins when
Yeah.
you make it.
Yeah, definitely.
I saw a lot of 2-8s and 2-8 combinations.
Yes, a lot. Because it seemed like this pattern, because they have mixed the fire and ice, and it's just forward, it just, instead of the oil kind of evaporating a little bit or the ball soaking it up, it just pushed down lane. So if you got it, like, even if you got it in, it skated. Or sometimes if you got it way too right to the out of bounds, it would cover enough, but only to leave a nice 2-8 or 2-10 combination.
It's good. That's good insight right there. How quickly do you recognize something like that? Of course, you know that from what's on the graph, but how quickly did it take you to realize what you just said when you saw it on the lanes?
For me, this week it was, you can see the ball trying to hook a little too early, and it would just never read the back part of the lane, so it would just skate right through the break point. So usually if you see that a couple of shots in a row, it's time to ball change, or maybe move a little right to get on top of the oil instead of trying to go around it. At least that was my game plan.
It was working well.
For a while, yeah, it did.
I imagine, and then I know you went 220, 240.
Yeah,
and then
to
a few
start.
games of 180, 170, 180. What was the difference there?
It was partly my fault. I didn't recognize the ball change right away. I tried to stay with the same ball for too long. The ball wasn't terrible, but I just almost wish it would have looked really bad.
Instead of force you to make it
Yeah.
be quick about
I
it.
almost had to be almost perfect with it to get it to the pocket.
You're kind of in that in-between range where you're throwing it well and it's kind of doing some good things, but you're really not sure if you go away from it, if you start leaving designs and splits and
Yeah,
different things
definitely.
like that.
Definitely this morning, more than qualifying, you saw more like wet-dry pairs where you got it in, it would skate, you get it out, it would actually hook a lot. It would hook really early. So you kind of got trapped a little bit. And, you learn from your mistakes, I still had an awesome week. I can't complain. I felt really comfortable this week. Made most of my spares. I think I only missed like 2 10 pins, and that was it.
So CO 9 spare here. Clean game for Rowe. Still trying to figure things out through a heck of a shot on the right lane. We'll give you her fill and then take you to Clara Guerrero. Clara on 3 in a row, make it 4. She will be in the 230s. Katie Sutphin, best she can do is shoot 199. Giselle pause here to give you 1 or 2 more looks. That one looks a little bit inside.
Seems like on this pair, they're a little bit more left than everybody else, from what I've seen.
There's someone you know.
I might know her.
3:10 for Giselle Paz to deal with. 2:38. Clara did finish things out. All right, good spare for Giselle. Let's see if she will take a look at a different piece as well. Katie Sutphin struck in the first shot of the 10th. Well, one more look here at Paz. And then 2 shots for Katie Sutphin. She's just out looking pretty good, and as a tour rookie, 225, and she has 2 wins.
She bowled 250 last game, correct?
She did, 254.
Off to a great start here.
So back-to-back wins, and of course that's what it's about in match play. Not only score well, but to win the match to gain the additional 30 bonus pins. And we've seen almost weekly an instance where someone who maybe wasn't at the top of the standings, but they went 5-1 or 6-0 in match play, and that helped them vault up the leaderboard in their respective groups. And so we could have that situation here, although Giselle wasn't too far from the lead in her group, but it helps when you go 250 to 220 and then get 60 bonus pins.
Definitely, yeah. Sometimes bonus pins can make the difference. A lot of the times, actually.
Heading to game 3. We're joined by Brittany Himmelreich from Pennsylvania, Cressona.
Yes. Got it. Right around the Poconos. Might help more people.
Poconos.
Poconos.
I've heard of that. I have no idea what it is, where it's at. But it sounds, but I've heard of it, so I mean it's got to be somewhat common.
Yeah, there's pretty many things to do around there. I feel like the vacation in the mountains.
Okay. Okay. I might want to give that a whirl. All right, game 3 underway. Shannon O'Keefe taking on Camilla Dahmers, our tournament leader. Shan has bowled extremely well in this event, looking like Shannon O'Keefe. Just spent some time just kind of getting back to feeling like she would normally feel, working on some things last week, so it's kind of a carryover, and well, it's certainly carried over.
Yes, definitely.
So you spend a lot of time, of course, with Shannon representing her respective staff, Brunswick and DV8, of course. But what is it about Shannon for you that you kind of admire, look up to, something that you would want to take and add or to your game or something like that, for example?
Well, I know I can tell you that Shannon, she will never give up. She'll never give up, and she's such a great friend to talk to. Like, you can always talk to her about whatever, whether it be bowling or your personal life. She's always there to talk to you about. But her game is so solid. She's so solid at the line. She's just so physically strong, and she's so consistent. That's what I admire about. Like, she's so consistent, and she's a great spare shooter. Great spare shooter.
Spare shooting so key, obviously, at this level. It certainly could be the difference between making a cut, making a check, making a show, missing a show. That's got to be numeral. What's on your list of successful to-dos on the PWBA Tour? What would be in your list? What's your top 5 for you?
My top 5? Let's see. Well, number 1 is always make your spares. Always gotta make your spares. A lot of count can be lost with spares. Number 2 is stay focused. Always stay focused, never give up. Number 3. Pretty tough one here.
Or if you have 3, I mean, however many you have.
Number 3, I would say just be yourself. Don't try and play somebody else's game. Just try and be yourself, play your game. Just do what you know.
That sounds pretty
Be you.
simple. That's easier said than done. Of course, it's it could be the difference between if you see someone playing a certain part of the lane that they're having success in, but not essentially trying to be that person to repeat what they're doing to do it. You've got to do it your way.
Yep. I mean, I know. Everybody looks at Liz Johnson. I mean, I give her an example. Liz Johnson, she bowls great week in and week out. And she has such like an impeccable game. She's so solid. She's so consistent. You almost see her playing this similar part of the lane every week, but that's her game. That's what she's good at. But if she has to move in, she can do that too. So a lot of times when you see Liz Johnson doing really well, playing it a little straighter and you try to do it and it just doesn't work, it's all right. I mean, that's just her game and not yours. So you just kind of have to figure out something to do to start striking more.
Yeah, Liz has shown the C and D games, as she refers to them as, when she has had to move in, and she's had to do it several times.
Yes.
The patterns and the conditions have been very diverse on the tour. This is the highest scoring pattern by far to date this season. Detroit would be second. And then, of course, we kicked off in regards to difficulty with extreme.
Oh, that was a difficulty of 10.0.
In week number 1. And I would say I won't say most scorable, but the highest scoring for sure. That would be the top level would be this week here in St. Petersburg-Clearwater. So very diverse array of conditions, and kind of speaks to, not to get on Liz Johnson. We'll talk about her when she gets here, but how good she's been, how good she is, and then obviously specifically this year how good she's been because the conditions have been so different week to week. Camilla Dahmers, 9 spare, 9 spare, and now 9 spare and potentially 9 spare here for O'Keefe on 35 and 36. This is the Burn squad. What did you think of the Burn? What differences did you immediately see or notice from, of course, there's the 6 games on Fresh, and then you come back and bowl 6 more on the Burn?
To me, the Burn to start looked very similar to when we ended our first block of 6 games. I started pretty much where I ended. I don't think it changed too much, for me at least. I pretty much used the same ball for 12 games yesterday. Ball gave me a great reaction. Actually ended up moving right on the Burn for a little bit. And then the last game and a half, I had to move just a tad left to try and get around the dryness for it to burn up a little bit in the mid lane. But other than that, it played pretty consistent yesterday on the Burn.
And from, let's say, today to yesterday's Fresh.
Fresh, yes, this morning. The Fresh was definitely a lot tighter to start this morning. I moved a decent bit right to start from where I did yesterday on the Fresh. It looked good. And then, as I said, I ran into some over/under, fighting some ball reaction. You know, but it looked pretty similar, I would say. But right now, it looks like it's getting a lot of over/under, wet/dry reaction from a lot of bowlers.
I talked to a couple players and reps Friday morning or Thursday evening, and some thought it would be relatively high scoring, and then some also mentioned that the way the pattern was kind of set up, that there could be the potential for some flat tins, some washouts, and certain things. Even though most players will play or would play outside, which has been the case, but there could be that situation where, as the games go on, there's no re-oil. The heads will, in certain parts, will start to go away, of course, and then, if you move slightly left, you could still get caught in a sense down lane where there's still not the friction that you expected it.
Yes.
And, so we've seen a little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely. Like they said, the oil pushed down, and one game you could be, solid through the pocket, and then the next game move to another pair, and you're flat tenning, just because the oil has pushed down and it hasn't really evaporated or soaked into a bowling ball.
Camilla Dahmers is going to play in the lanes just from a front to back standpoint, the way Giselle Poss was kind of playing to start in the fronts a little bit there, a little too slightly left to right. Shannon, I have to take one more look at her shot, but a lot of players, of course, were around 5, 3, 4 in some cases.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has been, I haven't seen one person or one bowling ball go maybe at the most 16, and that's if someone missed. I haven't seen any balls go, from left to right, 16 and left for right-handers.
Definitely. I think if you were to try to move that far left, you'd probably wash out a lot. You struggle to hit the head pin just because of all the oil being pushed into the middle of the lane.
What can viewers take away? Like, what's the biggest takeaway, do you think, from the viewers at home who are watching this and they're thinking in their head, hey, if I were bowling, how would I combat this pattern? What would be a couple of viewer keys for them to kind of focus on as they watch and continue to watch the players here?
I would say, keep your angles in front of you. You don't want to be sending the ball way to the right. Keep your arm swing straight. You don't want to come behind your back, because then that will force you to throw the ball left or right depending on your timing. With a pattern like this where you're playing straighter, you got to make sure you're square at the line. Just keep the ball in front of you. That's what I would say.
I think that's very good advice. Joined by Brittany Himmelreich. We got 2-4-5. I think that shot from Shannon was a very good example of what she was referring to a little bit in regards to, and what you said earlier. Also with a little wet dry. Pretty good shot on the right lane, got some carry. Pretty good shot on the left lane in 2-4-5.
Yes. You definitely saw that a lot.
We got ourselves an even match on 39 and 40. Danielle McEwen and Stephanie Johnson. Strike spare 4-bagger for Danielle, strike spare 3-bagger, and Stephanie Johnson is about to step up in the 6th frame. Rocio Restrepo now bouncing back solidly. She's got the front 7 in game number 3. Let's take a look at our scoreboard update after 20 games, brought to you by Pepsi. Shannon O'Keefe remains in the lead in Group A at plus 670. She is 1-1 in match play. Liz Johnson now into 2nd at plus 425. She is 2-0. Diana Zavyalova plus 403 in 3rd. Danielle McEwen is in 4th. She shot 183 both games. She lost 1 and tied 1. Camilla Dahmers shot 181 and 183, of course, time with Danielle McEwen. She is in fifth. Stephanie Johnson in sixth. Dahmers 38 pins back of fourth. Johnson 46 pins back of fourth. In Group B, Giselle Poss is now your new leader at plus 473. The tour rookie, now potentially with an opportunity here to make a TV show outright during match play. Erin McCarthy is in second at plus 469. Josie Barnes is third at plus 451. Another shot there and a strike for Stephanie Johnson as that match continues to be even. Clara Guerrero is in fourth at plus 438. Rocio Restrepo, after the tough start in game one, mentioned her now with the front seven, but currently in fifth in Group B, 31 pins back. And Katie Sutphin now in sixth in Group B, 69 pins back of fourth place. We'll still anticipate a lot of movement in the standings. And it could happen this game with Rocio and having the front seven. And now a 2-8-10, and just like that.
Saw a lot of those this week.
Off camera, O'Keefe strikes in the sixth frame.
It looks like Danielle is playing a pretty, I'm not going to say the extreme outside part of the lane, but she's playing it pretty straight up the boards out over there.
A little more direct than some of the other competitors, at least at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
I think a little earlier she was still playing around the same area, although there may have been other players in her vicinity at that time. Restrepo gets some carry, and she has got the crowd behind her as well. Already had one perfect game today. I thought there would be two by the cashers round, and O'Keefe with another double. Finally get something going on the left lane. Let's see if McEwen can bounce back. Left frame, or excuse me, left lane, 8th frame, and wraps a 10 pin. That ball looked to be about 6-ish at the arrows.
Yeah. She definitely looks farther right with her feet than most players. Maybe not at the arrows, but with her feet, she's definitely a little more right.
Seven from our angle, and it might be a 2-4-8 pin. 6 split on the scoreboard. That would be my guess. Restrepo making a run here to get back into the thick of things. With this format, of course, you can never afford to struggle, but with the group stepladder opportunity, if you do struggle a game or two, you can still have an opportunity to make TV finals.
You just gotta try and win some matches. Try and get those bonus pins to get you back in.
It's all Stephanie Johnson right now after the open in the 7th. 10 pin spare in the 8th for Danielle. Brittany, you mentioned that you felt that this pattern wasn't your A game. So what would be your A game, and where would you classify what you had to do this week? Is that the B, the C game?
This week was probably the BC game. It wasn't too far right, but usually when I have to move a little right, I get a little bit more inconsistent. And that's because I get so open with my shoulders. Sometimes for me to get it up the lane, it takes a lot of concentration and really focusing on closing my shoulders the same every time at the line. But this week, definitely a test, but I said I felt really comfortable. My timing was really good. Positives.
Did you have a good practice week prior to? Did you have a good practice session on Thursday that kind of let you know, hey, this is I feel pretty good?
Yeah, practice on Thursday is actually a little left of where I actually started, and I think that was just because it was the first time of them putting the pattern down. It seems like every time they put it down, it gets a little tighter and tighter every time. So, but it wasn't a major difference. Just a little bump right, and it was perfect.
High flush for O'Keefe. Well, Shannon is on her way to what could be a victory here, and potentially still several games to go, but she is in great position to make her first televised finals of this season after a career year in 2016. I think she inspired a lot of individuals last year from kind of overcoming and redeeming herself from previous losses on TV. And shots like that will do it. Open frame off camera for Danielle McEwen. D-Mac, who made the TV show last week in Orlando.
She bowled really well last week.
Jamila Dahmers now. Miller from Weber International. Weber alum. Weber over the years has built a dominant program on both the men's and women's side. We had, let's see, Camilla, Daria, Diana, Tawny Valmer, Verity Crawley. I'm missing one, I think, who all bowled and made the cashers round today. Of course, Verity, Diana, Daria, regular full-time essential members on tour. Camilla Dahmers. Is a member. I bowled the entire schedule, but was making her presence felt here. This is game 3 of 6. Again, the 6th game is a position round. A shot from Dahmers. Miller can get to 206. How's the 2017 tour been for you so far? How would you, not necessarily rate performances per se, but overall, how's it been for you? And, as the weeks go on, how do you kind of prepare yourself for the next week, kind of doing an honest evaluation? Hey, this is what didn't work this week. This is what I need to work on for future success.
This year has been kind of up and down. I did well in Fountain Valley, Detroit, and this week. So it seems like 3 out of the 5 regular stops I've been doing really well at. Sometimes I battle some back issues. Sometimes I get like a little pinched nerve in my back, so I just quick trip to the chiropractor. It flared up on me in Sacramento. So I was battling that there, but other than that, I mean, I feel like it's a pretty solid season so far. I have to tune up my game for the majors. I was telling my husband that.
That's important.
Yeah. And definitely as the season goes on, I feel better and better on the lanes. I get more comfortable. Just kind of settle in.
O'Keefe, 5 in a row. Do you prefer or like longer formats in that sense? If once you get settled in and the more games.
I do like the more games. It gives you a better chance to bounce back. Like one bad game isn't going to kill your chance at making the cut. When there's a lot more games, and even 12 games, it's a decent amount of games. One game's not going to kill you. That the more games you bowl, the better chance you have to They get comfortable.
Tin pin for O'Keefe. Well, Shannon will put up another 240 game.
Just another day in the office, right?
That's the way it's been this weekend. Just came over here earlier talking to Brittany about wet, dry conditions, but not seeing any wet, dry over here, at least for her.
And she battled through them on that game.
The exception of course, and that's kind of tongue-in-cheek. We saw it clearly on the 245 she left on the left lane.
Yep.
But that's where Shannon is right now. She is getting things done, recognizing those, what she sees. She sees wet, dry, and then makes the adjustments, and then, back five for 240.
Yeah. I'll tell you the ball that she is throwing currently. She has thrown most of the weekend. I think on the fresh she's thrown a different ball for the first 2 or 3 games, but then she has gone to that ball. She calls it the magic ball.
What ball is it?
It is a freak show flip from the DV8 line. She told me that she drilled it up last week during the Orlando Open, and out of the box she said it didn't look very well. It didn't roll good, just kind of blah. And then she talked to her husband Brian, our ball rep, and he hit it with 500, and after that it was magic.
Wow. Surface is the friend of many here on tour. Are you going to hang out for one more game?
Sure.
Okay. So Zabyalova will take on Shannon O'Keefe. They'll be on 39 and 40. 35 and 36, we will have Josie Barnes and Clara Guerrero. I feel I haven't seen Clara much on our feature pairs this week.
She skipped around him.
Yeah, occasionally there is a few pairs weekly that will, of course, you just can't get it. Everyone by randomness can't get on one of the featured pairs, so that does happen from time to time.
I believe that happened to me last week. I went around it.
Now,
Both
some players enjoy not being on the featured pair.
And then all your family can't go on and watch, and you get all the feedback from them while you're watching.
There's a couple things that happen. There's those whose family definitely watch, and they let people know that they're going to be on what game. Of course, we have the pairing schedule, so you'll know what game you'll be on. And then, but afterwards, they'll come up and say, "Hey, my average on the extra frame pairs is 180 or something like that," and not look forward to bowling on the featured pairs.
Yes. Sometimes it's a love-hate relationship with the featured pairs.
I understand it, and so I just do my best to give everyone the best luck I can give.
Yes.
So no one is upset with me.
I can't be upset with you this week. I had some pretty
true.
good games on the live pairs this week.
Just waiting for the lanes to begin. Someone to click the button, and there it is. All right, Josie will start. Well, Josie Barnes, I mentioned earlier, was the cut number for the Cashers round. Then shot 1475 for 6 games, including 277 in game 6 this morning, to ensure her spot into match play. So pretty impressive bowling from Josie. And now we'll, of course, continue to have the opportunity to make the TV finals.
So anytime you go 200 or above over in a block, it's definitely impressive.
We've had some pretty cool Cashers round blocks. Some really very nice blocks. Brandy Brinket comes to mind, and because she did it at the first event, which was the toughest
Yeah.
event to go nearly 200 over, it was very close. Verity Crawley did the same thing a few weeks ago, going plus 250 in the cashier's round. So cashier's round is generally kind of like the moving day, like in golf, if you will, where even if you're 32nd, which Josie proved today that you can make it to match play from 32nd. So
Definitely.
that should be a lesson for anyone. Obviously, players know that, but any viewers out there, whatever tournament you may be bowling, if there's a cut involved and if you're the cut, it's not impossible for you to proceed on to whatever that next portion of the event is.
Just don't count yourself out.
Shannon Pluhowski did it at the U.S. Women's Open, no less, as the 24th place or 24th spot to make match play, and then was the #1 seed
I do remember that.
after it was all said and done for match play. So
Sometimes you just get into a groove.
I don't know what that feels like, I gotta be honest. Nice early double for Clara. Clara helped Team Colombia to team gold medal in Guatemala last week. We're in international competition in qualifier for the Central American Games. Several players from Colombia, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all represented. Those we normally would see on tour were absent last week. Zavyalova with an early double, 39 and 40. Joined by Brittany Himmelreich. PWBA player, had a great week this week. Ultimately, the official tally will be 17th. Just a few pins shy, had 235 on the end, and just a few pins shy of the number.
Yep. But it was still a good week. Take the positives with you, and you take the negatives and you work on them.
Hello to Justin, who was rooting for Aaron. Hello to Mrs. Brummett. Jeff Rickles watching. His question, how did Rocio shoot 108? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. She was not in our view. She started on the higher end from where we are.
I think she was on the end pair per se, down there, I believe.
Right, in our bed of lanes that we're using, she was on the end pair, and Brittany stated that there were a lot of red circles.
Yes, everybody saw a lot of red circles.
It is shocking that, when you see something like that, you think it's a typo, which has happened before.
It does happen, yeah.
Oh, I pocket 710. No. Wow, love the fan support.
We've had a good crowd this week, every day so far.
And they're living with every shot. And our featured pair, of course, and one of the cool things, and to me, just from obviously watching every week, is how fans will lock on to a particular player or players, and that's their player for the weekend. Like, they're rooting for them. They could have that affinity and have developed that well before the tour, so they're excited, obviously, for them to be here, for them to see them, and I hope that they do well. So appreciate the fans. Many who I've spoken to via Facebook, I know you watch Extra Frame, have driven out to certain tour stops to watch, compete in pro-ams, just to be around players like yourself, like you're involved in it. Like, how does that make you feel when you sit back and think like, not only am I on tour, I get to bowl and compete with some of the best in the world, but to interact with the fans in a very personal way.
It's very humbling. You hear some, like you say, you hear some of the fans that drive a couple hours just to bowl the pro-am, or they come out for the weekend to watch some of the best women bowlers around, compete against each other. And it's just reassuring to know that, to me, that I can bowl against these best women bowlers, and I can compete against them. I might not have the greatest week every week, might not throw the ball well one week, but it's all right. You're not perfect. Everybody's allowed to have an off week or an off day. So it's very humbling to see a lot of fans, and come support the sport that I love and that you love and that all these women love. It's definitely grown over the past 3 years since the PWBA has started back up.
Absolutely. 2015 kind of seems a little long ago, and then sometimes when you think about it, it's like, oh, that was just kind of yesterday.
It does seem like
But
that.
leaps and bounds continued from a standpoint of obviously fan support, the growth, members, players from in respective markets, more non-members and guests. They're starting to bowl as well. After Clara shot, we'll take you to 39 and 40. We've got a barn burner brewing between Shannon O'Keefe and Diana Zavyalova. DZ3 with the front five. O'Keefe strike spare four-bagger. How did you get kind of started on the path of the PWBA Tour? Where did you figure out or know that obviously once the tour was back and maybe this started obviously when there was a hiatus that you wanted to reach this pinnacle at some point? How did this start for you?
It started for me, my family has been such a great support system back home. My husband pushes me to be better and better every week. But
Does he watch or listen on Extra Frame?
he does.
Okay.
So does the rest of
What's
my
his name?
family. Matthew.
Matthew.
Matt.
Okay, Matt. To shout him out now from now on.
I think he's going to a Phillies game tonight, though. I don't know if he's
Okay.
watching.
I respect that. I can't get in the way of a man in his baseball.
That's right. Really. And you come home to fireworks tonight, I believe.
Nice.
At home. Some more strikes over there from Diana.
I'm sorry not to interrupt your story.
No, it's okay. But growing up, there wasn't a lot of bowling in my area. In my high school, there wasn't any high school bowling, and I never went to college for bowling. But I always stuck with it, and I can just see myself getting better and better. So then I started bowling on the more competitive patterns, and I realized that I can do it, Just start practicing more on the tougher shots, and if you do bowling on the house shot, practice things more than just score. Don't bowl for score. Sometimes it doesn't matter when you're practicing. Like I said, I have a great support system.
Interesting that we talk a lot about because it's across the tour, really the evolution of collegiate bowling, and yet you compete weekly almost, and put yourself in great position to do some great things, and you did not bowl collegiately, and so every now and then I think it's good for players to know that obviously we want people obviously to take that step. If you want to bowl collegiately, there's plenty of opportunity, but if you go to a school that doesn't offer it or want to pursue some other things and maybe bowling is not part of your college career at that point, you can still make it.
Definitely. Just never give up on your dream, It's always been a dream of mine to bowl out here, and it's amazing to think I'm actually doing it. It's also a great opportunity to see the country. I mean, I never thought I'd be ever in California or, you know,
On the beach,
definitely.
Florida.
You know, I've been to Florida a few times. You know,
Okay.
of course, you have to go to Disney because you're in Florida. But
Sure.
yeah, some of these states that we've been to, I never thought I'd be visiting.
Well, next year, of course, the 2018 schedule will certainly be going to some different markets across the country: Connecticut, Oklahoma, Columbus, Ohio, to name a couple. So be sure to check out the 2018 schedule. If you are one of the places, be sure to take a look, make some plans.
It looks pretty amazing.
It's already out. Just like that shot was just out the hand of O'Keefe and 10 back from Shannon. Zavjalova will try to minimize the damage here after the open in the 7th frame. Restrepo getting into her groove now. Nice game in game number 3, in fact. If we haven't done this, I think we did. No, we did. Our update after 21 games. Boy, Shannon O'Keefe.
She's running away with it.
Plus 745. Not a typo there.
No.
Plus 745. She is the leader in Group A. Commanding lead on what would be second place, which is the Group B leader at this moment. And by all accounts, and undoubtedly the driver's seat for a TV appearance here. Liz Johnson is in second in Group A at plus 483. Stephanie Johnson is third at plus 415. Diana Zavjalova and Danielle McEwen tied for fourth at plus 384. Camilla Dahmers is in sixth at plus 340. And Group B, we've got a competition here. Nice shot there from DZ. Giselle Pauls continues to lead. She is 3-0, but Clara Guerrero now in second at plus 500. Pauls plus 517. Both are 3-0.
Claire's making a move.
221, 238, 232. 3 games for Clara to start. 691 scratch. Again, that is 90 bonus pins she has added to her total. Rocio Restrepo, again, after the early 108, shot 262 in game 3. And she's got something brewing here in game number 4. She is plus 499. Josie Ernest-Barnes in 5th at plus 443. Might have skipped over Erin McCarthy there in 4th at plus 497. Katie Sutphin in 6th at plus 364. Two very good matches. No 10-pin for Ernest-Barnes. 5-pin match between O'Keefe and Zavjalova. Shannon cannot shut out Diana. And probably the worst break she's had in a while.
It looked like on that shot she got it to the right just a little quick. The ball picked up a little early from my angle here.
She leads at 4-6. So she'll shoot 225 and give Zavjalova an opportunity here. But before we view that, let's take a look at Clara Guerrero. Mentioned Clara on a run here, 3-0. Clara has been beaten twice in group stepladder finals by Liz Johnson to deny her opportunities to make a telecast this season. The double dribble, will it help her? It will. Diana didn't like it, but starting to get a little rowdy in the stands. I like it.
Love the fan interaction.
Rowdy may not be the best word, because that might indicate or that there's some roughhousing going on, which there is not. There's just a lot of fan support, interaction, applause, hooting, hollering, and etc.
It's been like that all week.
Clara for 3 in a row. Much better shot there. And Clara have 4 wins in a row here. They're trying to nail down, overtake Giselle Poss potentially here this game for the lead in Group B. Poss is down on the low end, cannot see her score. Looks like she's clean though, had a 3-bagger or maybe a 4-bagger in the middle of her game. She's taking on Erin McCarthy.
Looks like she's going to win. It looks like Erin can shoot 2-0. If my eyes see right.
Zavialova shot 251. Just a big game for DZ3. And for, at this moment, Group A is about making sure you earn a spot in the group stepladder final. It doesn't look like Shannon O'Keefe has any intentions on relinquishing the lead that she currently has anytime soon.
Like she's in the driver's seat. She's on cruise control.
Of course, the road to Richmond. Seen that, of course, on our PWBA social media pages. The opportunity to compete in the season-ending Smithfield PWBA Tour Championship by either winning a PWBA Tour title or earning a spot via the points list, earning enough competition points. That's what the players are focused on, of course, through each event. You win a title, you earn a spot in the Tour Championship, which is at the Richmond International Raceway as part of the NASCAR festivities that week. 247 for Clara Guerrero. And it may be enough to overtake Giselle Poss here, so Clara could very well be in the lead as we head to Game 5 in Group B. She will not have the overall lead. That belongs to Shannon O'Keefe. If Shannon and Clara were to earn the top 2 seeds, O'Keefe 1, Guerrero 2. I believe that would be the 3rd time, at minimum the 2nd time, where both players were 1-2 in that order. They did it last year, definitely at the Pepsi PWBA Lincoln Open.
Looks like Rocio won her match down there, bouncing back from that rough start. So she shot at least 240.
And that's a big game for Rowe. We've, of course, talked about the tough start. Then to back it up, 262, then 240. She's still in the mix. Imagine that, shooting 108 and still could ultimately earn an automatic spot on TV.
It's mental toughness.
Game 5, folks, is on the way. I want to thank Brittany Himmelreich for joining us for a couple games.
It's a pleasure being here.
I'll let you go back and support Shannon O'Keefe. I don't know what support she needs at this moment in time. But appreciate it, and don't be a stranger to Extra Frame.
I watch even when I'm not pulling.
How about that? How about that? We appreciate that. We'll take a small break, folks. We'll come back. Game 5 on the way. You're watching the 2017 PWBA St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open on Extra Frame.
It was a pink ball from Sports Authority. I think it was actually called the gum ball. It was pre-drilled, and it's probably now on someone's old bowling ball rack. I wish I would have saved it. Red. Very powerful. I would probably play volleyball. I just think it's really fun. My stature's probably fitting for that. Probably Dirty Dancing.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
100% Sandra Bullock. I grew up in the Jordan era. Being originally from Chicago, I grew up a Bulls fan, so I would say probably Michael Jordan. Definitely my mother. I've obviously looked up to her my whole life. She's one of the strongest women I know. She's been through so much, good, bad, and always persevered. So she's really taught me what it means to just always be there. Gwen Stefani. Just went and saw her a couple weeks ago, and she's one of my favorites. I would say anything Thomas and Friends or Paw Patrol. I know every song, I know every character, I know every episode it seems like, but you know, that's just kind of what my life has turned into, and it's been amazing, so I wouldn't have it any other way. Becoming a mom definitely changes your priorities. You know, things that probably bothered you or mattered before don't matter as much anymore. My life revolves around him, and it's just amazing to watch him every day and live my life through the eyes of a baby. It's awesome.
Excuse me. My apologies if you heard a little background noise when watching the Stephanie Johnson profile video. I had the crowd mic still turned up. My bad. My bad, Steph J. Although one of the photos in there is of her and her son Levi, who just celebrated his 3rd birthday. Now, of course, we need to add a family photo to that profile with daughter Kinsey and, of course, husband Chris. 2 Rookie of the Years in the same household. One PBA, one PWBA. Wow. A little 5'7" carry there from Liz Johnson. So we are on to game 5. Stephanie Johnson taking on Liz Johnson. The 2015 Rookie of the Year, 2015 Player of the Year. Steph, the rookie in 2015. Liz, the Player of the Year. On 39 and 40, Aaron McCarthy and Rocio Restrepo. Position round. Up next. Pin there for Stephanie Johnson. Interested to see the scores. If you were with us in Game 4, we talked about how Restrepo, that's a story in itself, essentially, that's developing. 108 start to match play, but could still potentially, one way or another, make TV. As Brittany Himmelreich, who joined us, want to thank her for her insight. Talked about mental toughness. That certainly is the definition of that. When you start match play with a 108, that you would think it would do something to the psyche, whether it's minor, major. Of course, it's how you adapt, adjust, and kind of quickly block it all out. That is the ultimate closer's mentality right there. That's, you start out with 108, it's kind of like getting rocked for 5 runs, and you had like a 3-run lead coming into the 9th. '22 game update. Here it is. Wow. Wait till we get to Group B, folks. So Group A, Shannon O'Keefe is it's hers to win. No question about it at this point. Plus 770. Plus 770. She leads Group A. In second, Liz Johnson at plus 511. Diana Zavialova in third at plus 465. Danielle McEwen in fourth at plus 460. Stephanie Johnson is in fifth at plus, plus 409, 51 pins back of fourth. Camilla Dahmers plus 397, 63 pins back of fourth. Group A is fighting for spots to get into the group step ladder final, because Shannon O'Keefe will be the #1 seed. In Group B, however, we've got action. Clara Guerrero, 4-0, the only player, one of 2 players to go undefeated here in match play. And Guerrero, 221, 238, 232. We just watched her shoot 247, all victories. 938 scratch. She's got the highest 4-game block. She is the leader in Group B. Rocio Restrepo, after the 108 start, finds herself just 1 pin behind Clara Guerrero for the top spot in Group B and the automatic bid to television. After a 108 start, she is bowling Erin McCarthy, and we will give you some of that match, of course, in just a second. Giselle Poss, the only other player, the only other player aside from Clara. 2 players that I mentioned who are 4-0, undefeated currently. She is the other. She is at plus 570. Erin McCarthy in fourth right now. Shot 300 earlier in the cashers round today. She is plus 469. Her great friend, best friend Josie Barnes is fifth. 23 pins back. Katie Sutphin still in contention. 0-4. Plus 378, 91 pins back of 4th place in Group B. You can feel the excitement levels continue to grow here. Had some great games on 39 and 40. At least in match play, they've looked to be the highest scoring of our two pairs here. One more shot here from Stephanie Johnson. Even match, even to a tee, in fact. Even down to the counts and when they struck. All right, let's take a look at now Clara Guerrero. Other match ongoing as we get into the position round. So right now in Group B, the matchups are Clara Guerrero taking on, Rocio Restrepo taking on Erin McCarthy, 1 versus 4, or 2 versus 4. And then Clara taking on Giselle Poss, 1 versus 3. So The position round is being set up in this game for Group B. No doubt about it. Restrepo, 3 in a row. McCarthy, 4 in a row after a missed single pin in the second frame. There are a lot of happy people in the Chicagoland area. Montgomery, Illinois is where Giselle Poss resides, is from. I believe looking at law school. Nice read in the Beacon News a few weeks back. The local paper is part of the Tribune, Chicago Tribune. The Beacon in the Aurora area. Really have liked what I've seen from Giselle. Not to be surprised either. Watched her in some earlier events during the Midwest Swing. Didn't have the success she was looking for, but you can see. You know, sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. You gain experience with every shot out here on tour, especially as a rookie. Rocio, of course, 4 in a row. McCarthy, 5 in a row. How about 6? Yes. Heck of a match brewing. Liz Johnson cannot find a way to carry. 9 spare strike. 4 consecutive 9 spares. Stephanie Johnson, 9 spare strike, of course, 9 spare, that did find a double. Let's go over to Steph J. Steph J, of course, went to school at Central Florida, worked at Boardwalk Bowl, practiced there, came back from maternity leave, made the show there last week. Now with a chance to do it again here in St. Petersburg-Clearwater. The hop, skip, and a jump from Rocio. That is the Restrepo that we all know. She knows when to bring out the Rocio post shot, and she knows when not to. And Liz Johnson finally hits 10 down. Liz has a streak going, of course, as well. She's made 7 of 9 TV finals, qualified for them. Each time she has made match play, which is now 8 times she has made a TV show. So that's on the line. Restrepo. We have a match. LJ. Wow, what a shot that was. You got a really good look at, obviously, where she was playing on the lanes. And then you saw all 3 phases of the bowling ball. The hook, roll, stop as well. But part of that, it's hard to tell in certain cases because there is some areas of the lane or parts of that particular area of the lane because everyone has been playing there. And wow, a 2-8-10 for McCarthy. And see that, hands in the face, takes the glasses off, wants to regroup, think about it, and go back at it again here. But that Liz Johnson shot. The heads have been going a little bit, so you got an idea. And now another great shot from Stephanie Johnson. McCarthy, how about you make it one time? All right, she'll get 2. Couple of opens now. Best she can do is shoot 233. Seal can max at 270. It would take catastrophic open. Rapton and McCarthy back on it there. Back over to Aaron. First shot in the 10th frame, a good one. Well, I think Aaron McCarthy, honestly, probably really can't believe what took place in the 9th frame. That probably was very unexpected. But I think really part of the one of the things with this particular lane condition, where if you do happen to miss just a touch, as Brittany mentioned before, some wet dry out there a little bit. Liz Johnson, 10 back. It could be a situation sometimes where oil just continues to carry down with a mix of Kegel fire and Kegel ice. Instead of bowling balls soaking up a lot of the oil, they continue to push it down. All right, Restrepo for a chance potentially to take the lead in Group B. Headed into the position round, she got that one right from our angle, and she leaves a 210. So that could have been Rowe's opportunity. Wow. Nasty 7-pin there. And LJ had to do the look around again on that one. That was almost like a who do you think you are standing up? Do you know who I am? I'm Liz Johnson. Come on, 7-pin. 7-pin clearly didn't care. And it was like, nah, Liz, I'm going to stand here in this 10 frame. .236 to 223. Restrepo defeats McCarthy, but that could have been 270 to 268. And probably, honestly, what it should have been. Both players' scores minimum should be minimum 20 to 25 pins higher. Now, Clara Guerrero, best she can do is shoot 186. She leads Group B, and she will not get there. She's going to, at most, after leaving the 2-8 in the 10th frame, shoot 176. So she's going to lose the match and lose pins. Restrepo, had she shot 270 there, tacking on 30 for the W. Obviously, that would have been just like shooting 300 and adding 100 pins to your score. Oh, it could very well be now. It could be Giselle Poss who could be leading here. Let's take a quick look. Restrepo unofficially at plus 642 heading into the position round. Guerrero does shoot 176. Again, losing 24 pins. He is at 553. And Giselle Poss didn't get to 226 with a win. Or excuse me, 226 scratch would be 256 with the win, and including the bonus. Unofficially would be at 626 if she does strike out, and she gets some help on the 10 pin. So she's going to be in the 220s, and by my count, Rocio Restrepo, after shooting 108, is going to head into the position round with the lead in Group B. That is unofficial. My math could be completely wrong, but I don't think it is. But I've been wrong before. I'm certainly no mathematician. I'm going to do it again. That would leave Clara Guerrero at plus 553 unofficially. Giselle Poss has been amazing to watch today. Okay, folks, so you know what's next. Position round is on the way. Scores will be tallied, and we will take a small break. You don't want to miss this. Group B is going to be very close. Shannon O'Keefe has taken some of the intrigue out of Group A, but there's still obviously group stepladder finals appearances available. So we'll take a small break. Back in a moment. It's a 2017 St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open. You're watching live on Extra Frame.
I used to love like rollerblading. I think had I not been a bowler, I would have probably went that route. In my town, there is one place where they make these wedding bells cupcake, and it's like my favorite. I usually do lattes, so a skim milk latte. Sunset. I'm not a morning person. The trees, the ocean, the people, the food. I love Colombia. Believe it or not, I love reggae music. I used to listen to Bob Marley when I was little. The whole Colombian national team, they call me muñeca, which means doll. I feel like if I wasn't a bowler today, I could actually be in politics, or I could be a judge. I used to be a musician when I was little. I went to a music school from when I was 4 years old. I used to sing. I can't really sing anymore because I don't really practice much. I used to play the violin. A lot of people don't know I have a sister that's gonna be a brain surgeon. I feel like if I give my best and I make people happy, I have succeeded. Because at the end of the day, people always remember how you make them feel. It's not so much about how many titles you won. I know that our society, unfortunately, is really focused on how much money you have and how many titles or how famous you are. To me, is when I see someone and I interact with a person, if I can bring a smile to their day and how I make them feel. So to me, that's success.
She will be bowling Camilla Dahmers. Now over to Group B on lanes 35 and 36. Currently sitting in first is Rocio Restrepo at plus 642. And she'll be bowling Giselle Paz, who is only 16 pins behind Rocio at plus 626. In third and fourth on 31 and 32, we have Clara Guerrero at plus 553. And she'll be bowling Erin McCarthy at plus 492. And on lanes 27 and 28, we have Josie Barnes versus Katie Sutphin. So ladies, please report to your starting pair, and we will give you 5 minutes of warm-up.
right, folks, practice is underway. Just a brief 5-minute practice round. A warm-up session for position round and for the break, of course. So Group A, Shannon O'Keefe leads the way at plus 770. That score remains. She shot 200 in Game 5. In second, Danielle McEwen at plus 555. Liz Johnson is in third at plus 527. Diana Zavyalova is fourth at plus 518. Stephanie Johnson is 55 pins back at plus 463. Camilla Dahmers plus 384, 134 pins back. In Group B, as I mentioned, Rocio Restrepo. Wow, plus 642. Last 3 games, 262, 247, 236, 745 for her last 3 games after starting with 108. Yes, 108 if you're just joining us. She is in first in Group B and will take on Giselle Poss on 35 and 36. Poss, the tour rookie and the recent Vanderbilt graduates. The only player now undefeated in match play at 5-0. Has a chance to make her first TV finals appearance. The difference here, of course, 16 pins. Whoever wins this match will be on TV. Clara Guerrero is third at plus 553, 4-1 in match play. And it took her first loss to Giselle in Game 5. Erin McCarthy was on her way to 260 plus. 2-8-10 derailed that in the 9th frame. Still an opportunity to make a group step ladder. 61 pins back is their good friend Josie Barnes at plus 431. Katie Sutphin still with a chance as well. 80 pins back of fourth. She'll need a big game, however. On 39 and 40, we'll have Shannon O'Keefe and Danielle McEwen. We know that match is essentially, or excuse me, not the match, but Shannon O'Keefe will have the top seed. So we'll spend some time with Rocio Restrepo and Giselle Poss. Well, folks, this is why we bowl. This is why they do it. This is why they put on the shoes. They get fitted. For Giselle Poss, I'm sure this is why she wanted to bowl. One of the reasons she wanted to bowl, of course, in the first place. And as you move on through life, the opportunity to win at the professional level. The opportunity to win the title is not here, but the opportunity to get one step closer to winning that title is certainly here. And Poss can seize it one way or another. All won't be lost if she loses the match. But still have to be careful. When it's out there for you, when you've got an automatic bid, potentially, you got to go out there and grab it. Can't leave it for chance. Game 6, position round. It's just like Game 7 in any other sport, or a match play scenario, or a best of scenario.
Step ladder final at 5 p.m. So again, very close race here down on 35 and 36 between Rocio Restrepo and Giselle Poss. 16 pins separate that TV show. All right, ladies, press that red key.
16 pins the difference.
Ladies
Whenever
and
this
gentlemen,
match
have a great send-off for the
onto
final game.
television. Of course, after this round, we will have the the announcements of the top 2 seeds and those participating in the group stepladder finals. I will leave you to go and take photos and do what I need to do, of course. You're probably familiar with the way it works at this point. Sutphin and Barnes on our far left, McCarthy and Guerrero, 1 pair away or 2 pairs away. Rocio, Giselle, 35 and 36. Shannon and Danielle, 39 and 40. And Restrepo opens up with a strike. Liz Johnson taking on Diana Zavyalova. Heck of a match there. That's a rematch of the USBC Queens. And a rematch of the Storm Sacramento Open. Zavyalova got the win of the Queens. Liz Johnson got the win at the Sacramento Open. And McEwen starts with a stone 9. Stephanie Johnson and Camilla Dahmers on the high end. Giselle Poss. In the Oswego East. Graduate that is in Illinois, trying to defeat Rocio Restrepo, who is the defending champion at this event. I'll tell you what, she can do it with shots like that. Restrepo trying to get back to TV. Be her 3rd TV appearance overall after making the first 2 shows. Well, at first we thought Rocio would go on the run that Liz Johnson had been on, essentially, after she made the first 2. She has been close before, has been in some group step ladders. Missed 1 cut in Wichita. Again, 7:45 for her last 3. Big shot there. This match all even. Let's take a look at Shannon O'Keefe here while we wait. O'Keefe with an early double again. Shannon well out in front. She has done a lot of what she just did. Back to Restrepo. Falls off, gets help maybe? Yes. Now 3 in a row for Restrepo. Hello to all of our fans watching from wherever you may be watching from. We're watching the position round, St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open, Bold TV on Extra Frame. Hello to Mike England, rooting for Shannon O'Keefe and the Bearcats. He plans on the 3-hour drive from Abilene, Texas to Plano. Appreciate that, Mike. We look forward to seeing you. Hello, Steve. I didn't see a lot of DZ on our Extra Frame pairs, but the way it's looking, as long as she does her part, she will be on Extra Frame as part of the group stepladder finals. James McCorvin says go Shannon and go Stephanie. Thank you for all of your comments. Giselle Poss is tough, man. Unfazed. She starts out with 4 in a row. O'Keefe with 4 in a row. Danielle McEwen after the 9 spare. And that was a stone 9, I might add. She's got 3 in a row. O'Keefe wraps a 10. Back to Restrepo. Wow. Oh, with a little room. Well, we're all tied up here on 35 and 36. You think TV is not on the line in this match? You got a different thing coming. You think Rocio does not want to return to television, does not want to have the opportunity to defend her title. Carry on the 6-pin there. Danielle McEwen against second in Group A. She's got a chance to make it back-to-back shells. She's going to have to do it from the group step ladder. Plus, she could have a chance to do that in one game if she were to defeat Shannon O'Keefe. Or either way, if she shoots a high enough number to stay in front of Liz Johnson. Poss. High flush. 5 in a row for each player. Well, if we continue at this pace, that will benefit Rocio Restrepo. She has the lead by 16 pins. Meanwhile, McEwen with 5 in a row. Poss. 6 in a row. Oh, what a match. You're watching it live, folks. Bowl TV on Extra Frame. I encourage you to tell someone about what you're watching right now. A position round game with a TV berth, an automatic television berth on the line. Both players have started perfect through 5.5. All right, when the moment presents itself, I'll take you to Danielle McEwen. She's doing some good things as well. Right now it is Restrepo to continue to match shot for shot with Giselle Poss here. Position round, Restrepo. It's got to push. And not only does it push, it almost didn't hook. Thought that one was heading immediately to right there where she had some room and opportunity. McEwen continuing to strike. Shannon O'Keefe continuing to strike. We've got 290, 279 going on 39 and 40. It's very rare, folks, that our featured pair matches get done before everyone else, but that's what we're looking at here. Rocio Restrepo, front 6, facing Giselle Poss, who also has the front 6. Restrepo needs some help. And the 2-8-10, she knew it when she let it go. McEwen. All right, she takes 2. Open in the 7th frame. This could be all that Giselle Poss needs. It is in the hands of Poss. She has what she needs. There's an opening and an opportunity to claim a television berth this game. Here is O'Keefe first. Good shot. Now Poss. And a 4-pin. So both players string stop at 6. Poss with a single pin to take care of. Now back to Shannon O'Keefe. O'Keefe staring down the barrel of 279 potentially. Strike here would help that. And she leaves a 4-7. So McEwen, she goes on to shoot 290. Might be more than enough to hang on to that second position, which would be the top spot basically in the group step ladder. Poss will go first here. McEwen and O'Keefe. McEwen will go next. Nicely done. Danielle, meanwhile, did strike in the 9th frame. Foot pattern. A heck of a lane graph. If you haven't seen it, check it out. PWBA.com/live. Higher scoring events this season. And another 2-8. McEwen. 10th frame. Seals now left 2-8-10 and now a 2-8 back-to-back 2-8 combination. Multi-pin spares or splits. It's been a common leave throughout the week. When you think you have some room, sometimes you really don't. And takes care of business. Second shot in the 10th for McEwen. Business as usual for Danielle. She can shoot 290. Meanwhile, Erin McCarthy shot 224. Clara Guerrero in the 250s. Strepo, 9th frame. He needs them all to have any chance and some help from Poss, of course. And a 10-pin. McEwen will finish it out. And DMAC, pocket 7-10. Shoots 288 to solidify her spot in the group step ladder final. She should be the top seed there. And speaking of group step ladder finals only for McEwen. O'Keefe, she will lose the match, but she will not lose the war. She will be the #1 seed for the PWBA St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open TV Finals. Be taped August 6th, part of the U.S. Women's Open. August 22nd. Spare for Restrepo. 16 pins was the difference between Poss and Restrepo. 255 for Clara Guerrero. Brings it when she needed it most. Poss in the ninth. Oh, wow. Got a break. Almost a 2-4-8-10. That could have been game-changing. The spare is no gimme. Best Rocio can do is shoot 244. With the spare, Poss and get to 259. She will finish first. All important spare, and she misses it. Told you that spare is no gimme. And now 16 pins, again the difference. First open for Poss and an opening for Restrepo potentially. At worst, Rocio may have a chance, I should say. But Poss, the winner of this match, no matter what, is going on to TV. That's the moral of the story. A double would be fantastic for Poss here. That's one. This is a must-strike situation. Tom asks about the Stephanie Johnson match. She is all the way on the high end of where we are, Tom. I cannot see her score. She is finishing up. Everything has slowed down. This is the match. A double to potentially make TV. Needs good count though, but one at a time. Here's the shot. Bang! What a shot from Poss. And max score for Restrepo, 244. Eight will guarantee a win. Poss for a chance. An automatic berth on TV. Here it is. She's stuck. But bang, it holds line. And Giselle Poss is headed to the televised finals of the PWBA St. Petersburg-Clearwater Open. How about that? Restrepo wraps a 10. But Rowe will have a chance. She will have an opportunity to still make it to television. She'll have to do it, of course, via the group stepladder final. Well, I think everyone, you learned a lot about Giselle Poss. Will not be the last time you see her. She will make her TV debut in dramatic fashion. You got to give a lot of credit to Rocio as well after shooting 108 in game 1 of match play to even be in this position. Talk about mental toughness, certainly necessary here. Final shot. Pocket 7-10. 231 for Restrepo. What a match. 247, 231. Pass on to TV. Your number 1 seed is Shannon O'Keefe. Folks, I'm going to go down and do some work. Heck of a match. I hope you enjoyed it. Group step ladder finals will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We'll leave you here with the announcements of those participating. Appreciate you watching. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We'll talk to you pretty soon here at 5 p.m. in the group step ladder finals. Bowl TV on Extra Frame.
Put your hands together for a rookie out here this season making her TV debut, Giselle Pop. Now for group step ladder finals that will begin at 5 p.m. We're going to start with Group A. Your number 4 qualifier, Ms. Stephanie Johnson. And her opponent in the opening match will be the number 3 qualifier, our reigning player of the year, Liz Johnson. And the winner of that match will go on to meet our number 2 seed, Danielle McCune. Over to Group B, and our number 4 qualifier, Erin McCarthy. And her opponent in the opening match will be the number 3 qualifier, Clara Guerrero. And the winner of that match will go on to meet our number 2 qualifier and our defending champion, Rocio Restrepo.